All right. Hello, chat. How's it going? Hopefully well. We're back. We're playing more Ace Combat 6. Continuing with the multiplayer. Yet again. As of the start of today, we are at 35.76%. I think that's pretty good, personally. I am pretty happy with that number. And I'm hoping that it goes up a good bit today. But we'll see how much we can get done in the span of, 3 hours. You never really know. Some days it's like 4-5% jump. Some days it's like 1%. It's just a total coin toss, to be honest. It's so unpredictable. But hopefully, another day of a ton of progress. A man can dream, at least. A man can dream. This game takes forever to get open. I forget, I feel like I should start opening this one specifically like a good couple minutes before I'm actually ready, because Jesus Christ. The intros are so long, and they're not skippable, because of course they're not. Why would they be? Why would they be skippable? Hold on, let me check the spreadsheet. Battle Royale. You know, there's an AC6 recompilation project. I've heard a couple things about it, but nothing crazy yet, at least that I've heard. It'll be great to have a recomp for it. I don't know if they'll be able to get multiplayer or co-op working. I mean, they probably could, but there would be some extra steps to that, right? But he's already here. At least just to have the single player, running and not having all the visual and performance issues that running it on Xenia has would be great. I'm gonna assume he's ready to go. You thought I wouldn't arrive on time? I thought I was gonna be yapping in the lobby for a bit. Visual issues have been fixed for a long time. Some of them have, but not all of them. Like the terrain black triangles is obviously the notorious one. That's been fixed for a while. But cloud resolution and missile trail resolution and stuff like that, unless I missed something somewhat recently, isn't fixed yet. And also, well, I don't know. I was gonna say the recomp could probably, what's it? Get 60 FPS running, but that probably will still take a little more work. Oh. Please. Oh my God. I'll take it. I'll take it. That was awesome. The desperate missile fire while I stalled out. The SU-33 is great in this game. I love it. I saw the Aces account tweet that that the 57 is in AC-8. That'll be sweet. That was a missile. I couldn't tell if it was my machine gun or a missile that hit him as he went by. I gotta be careful. I know these are qualms. I saw him select them. Wait, what if I could just... This thing is great in this game. Handles like a dream. It's got great high G too. Why do I not? Oh. As I say, okay, maybe it's just got okay high G, actually. It's got pretty average high G. It turns fast, but it stalls out fast too. As I was saying it, I got fact-checked by the game. It's like, no. Just okay high G, actually. The 47 has insane high G in this one. That, I don't even know how that's legal. How that got through the play testing. Insanely quick turns and like no loss to speed. I don't get it. Granted, then they would take the high G from the SU-47 here and make that just how the mechanic worked in like AC-7, but it's beside the point.
Special weapons running low.
I'm nothing without my qualms.
All special weapons used.
My special weapon spam.
Fox 2. We have radar lock on.
Ooh. I know what that sound means. This game's great. All three 100% series you're doing are grinds. All three? All three, you say? Excuse me. Which one are you forgetting? Is it Yakuza? Are you forgetting the Yakuza 2? I think the craziest part is that the AC6 grind probably does beat RE Outbreak in terms of grind. This might actually have it beat. Legitimately. 100 wins in every multiplayer game mode on top of everything that I had already done for single player and what tiny bit we had to do for like the co-op missions is insanity.
Missile missed. Inbound cruise missile. Target hit.
Oh, it wasn't gonna work. I tried. That would have been so sweet. I saw my opportunity, but it did not work. Damn it. Damn it. This thing's great, but it's no F-22, all right? That would have been sick. I thought I could pull it off. It looked cool as fuck. I went for it. Ow. This thing can fucking move, though. It's no F-22, but it's not far behind either. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating a bit now.
Warning, incoming missile.
I stalled. Fuck. Oh! We traded! That's crazy.
Alpha 1, engage the enemy.
I hope the AC-8's multiplayer dogfights are as good as 6's. I really do. They're talking up this big game of having the largest multiplayer experience in the series.
We have radar lock on.
And I believe it in terms of like content and whatnot. I would believe that they could do that with how much time they've spent on 8 already. But I just hope that like the core of it, the dogfighting, is as good as this. Because that could be really fucking good if so. It could just be the best multiplayer in the series if the core gameplay is as good as this one.
Enemy plane down.
No qualms, please. I couldn't do that either. I was trying to kill time on the respawn.
Alpha 1, engage the enemy. Inbound cruise missile. Fire. Lock on.
Tuned in just to see that crash. It's a classic Chole moment. Flew a little too close to the ground. Nothing new. You don't see it as much in the multiplayer streams, to be fair.
Enemy aircraft down.
It's been a while since we've done single player 100% stuff, so it hasn't been happening as much, but that is the classic maneuver. We'll see you around, Sentai. Have a good rest of your day. This time, see, easy.
Warning, incoming missile.
Cruise missile, ow. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, I don't want to be this high up in the air. I'm learning. No cruise missiles for me. Thank you very much. Ooh. Okay. There's another.
Shut
I
down.
really hope that Ace Combat 8 has maps like this game. I feel like the maps give AC6's multiplayer so much sauce. Like, just that every map has a unique gimmick to it. Like this map having the cruise missiles going off the whole time. Or that team battle one that I talk about every time I talk about the maps in this game. Where you destroy the stuff on the ground, like the super tanky ground targets. and then it gives you like a random support reward for your team. Like you get drones for a few seconds, or all the SAM sites on the map become your teams for like 30 seconds or whatever. Stuff like that gives this game's multiplayer so much. Just that spice that each map has really goes a long way compared to other multiplayers. I'd love co-op as well. I'm hoping that co-op is a big part of the, you know, them saying in like the dev talk the other day, the biggest multiplayer in the series. That's why it's on the brain. Like why I keep bringing it up is because I'm just like, it has the biggest multiplayer, as in like the most stuff going on, and ideally the best stuff. They have my attention, especially if I'm gonna have to grind it out like this eventually. They have my attention. I am, in fact, very curious about what they mean. What if Sharma came in swinging with an Xbox price drop? Do you think it would be a good move for customer acquisition? I mean, yes, I would never say it's a bad move. But I think, especially this late into this specific gen, like most people are already pretty settled on like what platform they're on right now, right? If they made basic online free, that would be an insane move. That would honestly, like, weirdly be a bigger one for me. Granted, as someone who's mainly on PC and just has to, like, pick up console stuff here and there, it's a very different perspective from me. But for me, that would be way more exciting. If they were just like, hey, yeah, you know, this whole paid online service thing, there's still like a subscription here if you want it, but just the basic multiplayer stuff, you can have it. It's free now. Everyone gets to use it. If you have internet, you have multiplayer. Eesh, okay. I'll take that. I barely wiggled that out. I will take it. Due to the GTA 6 boost? It could? Well, I don't know. Isn't it? What is the ranking? Like, where does the PS5 stand currently? Because I actually don't know for sure. Has it surpassed, what was the least selling PlayStation? I actually don't know that. I'm assuming it's at least more than the least. I doubt that the PS5 is the least. Sold 93 million. Where does that put it compared to the other PlayStations? I don't know these numbers. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, where does it sit on the scale of best-selling PlayStation systems? I doubt it's beaten the 4. I was gonna say, I doubt it surpassed 4 yet. PS3 was under 90. Okay, so it surpassed the PS3. Is it at number 3? Is the PS1 the least selling? I could see that just because the brand wasn't established then and the industry was smaller then. PS5 is selling faster, but has not surpassed like the total units sold. That makes sense. Sort of like RE4 Remake right now. Like, it hasn't outsold RE2 Remake in terms of total units, but it has outpaced the RE2 remake and give it a few more years and it will surpass it. That sort of thing. Didn't they add like 1 million to the PS2 in recent years due to pressure from the Switch? I feel like I did hear something about that. Like that they, you know, updated the PS2 unit numbers after like 10 years of not updating that number because the Switch was about to beat it. Got food ready. Be back in 10. I'll take it. But yes, we're still doing this, Yurika. What do you mean? Of course we're still doing this. It sold so well, the price increased instead of going down. I saw a meme that someone made about, like, what's it?
Careful now, they're tracking you on radar.
The PS3 and Xbox 360. It was like 5 years into that generation, and it was a few guys on the couch. They were like, hey, the price of the PS3 dropped like $200 and the 360 dropped like $150. And they were all like, oh, sweet, I might pick one up now. And then they did PS4 and Xbox One, and they both dropped like roughly 100 5 years in compared to launch. And then they did Series X and PS5. And Series X has increased like $200 and PS5 has increased like $150. They're all just like, there was one guy, to play off of the I might pick one up now, there was one guy who was like, yeah, well, guess I'm never getting one. That's how I felt when I saw both of those news. Just like, well, shit. Switch One still hasn't caught it? I assumed it, I thought it had too. I'll have 100%ed AC8 by the time you're done with this damn game. Hey, I don't know about that.
Radar lock.
Doesn't pay for Game Pass after the price hike and I'm sure not buying it. That's fair. Remember when prices used to go down with time? Bro, I remember. I remember. Just needs 50 more BR wins. Just 50 more. Just 50, chat. That's it. That's all we need. We actually, since James is AFK, and he's the only one here right now, we can do the achievement check-in. We have officially surpassed 30 siege battles. 1. Same with Battle Royale. We hit both of those last week. Or last week. Yeah, it was on Monday. I was gonna say last weekend? No. Last Monday. We have Team Battle 30 as well. So all of them, we have the 30 achievement and are approaching the 50 victory mark. And once we have those achievements, it's the real grind to get the final 3 achievements, which are 100 apiece. We're all just more poor. We are all just more poor. That is true. A lot of people don't like thinking about it. I think about it a lot. We are absolutely more poor. Not because we make less, but because everything else is so much more expensive. And the wages have not increased accordingly. And it's crazy that that's not an issue that's like specific to one major country. Like, it's crazy that that is a phenomena that so many different parts of the world are going through simultaneously. Because realistically, like, that's the sort of thing that, you know, is specific to the economy that you live in, and I mean, it is. I'm not saying it's not. I phrased that in a way that made it sound like it's not. But, like, the same thing is happening in so many places. all at the same time. Like, it's the same issue everywhere, and nowhere is fixing it. And it's weird. It's just weird. Because normally that's a more localized thing. Like, the fact that I'm talking to someone from the UK about this, and we're both just like, yeah, we're all just more poor than we used to be. I'm not from the UK. Now I worry about my children. I think my kids will have a rough time. That's like, it also could change so much in like 10 to 20 years. There's just no real way to predict it. Australia's fixing it a little bit. Same in Eastern Europe. The only voice I hear who talks about economy stuff, at least in like my community, from Eastern Europe is Raiden. And
Watch out, the enemy has a lock on you.
he has not had a lot of positive things to say. For 20 years straight. I mean, it's kind of that thing where, like, at a certain point, things either will get better or kind of collapse and restart. It's like one or the other, right? There comes a point where it gets, like, critical. And either way, weirdly, like, as scary as the latter sounds, either way is better than just progressively declining further and further and further and further and further. My money can go much further. Yeah.
Missile evaded.
If you have a stable and steady income in USD and you move to a country that's cheaper, you should be okay. Hey man, I've been on that wavelength. You talk to False about that. I've been there.
Stage complete. All aircraft return to base.
But she's always like, what the fuck are you saying? Absolutely not.
Alpha 1, engage the enemy.
I'm like, but think about it. The food. The cheaper prices. She's just like, no. Too scary. That's what he says every time the economy gets brought up. Hey man, I'm just saying. There are some places, some of which rhyme with, you know, Japan, that like food is good, prices are cheap, dual citizenship with the US is viable. I'm just saying, there are some places. Now, what she typically says is, I would have to learn the language, and like that's like a whole different place from the US, like culturally, like I'm gonna stand out. I'm like, but the food and the prices and like learning a language isn't that hard. It's not that bad. I'd move to Antarctica if I could. Don't really apply to locals, and that's the worst part. It's true. Like, the cheaper prices thing applies to, like, I'm leaving Minnesota, the state that I am from. Didn't live here for a few years. Moved back here. Whole thing. Those who know their Chole lore know. I'm moving back out, like, next week. I'm moving to a different state. A state that is cheaper in terms of just like housing prices, general price, like, you know, groceries, food, all, like, it's just cheaper all around. And to me, it's like, oh my God, it's cheaper. But to the people who are from there and who have always lived there, it's really not. Because of course, like, minimum wage and stuff is lower. Right? Like, the wages there are proportional because that's just how it works. No streams for a week or two? You won't be streaming for how long? So I move out. The closing date for the people who bought this house and are moving into it is the 23rd. But I think I'll be out on the 22nd. I'm pretty sure. Like, I think I will realistically just have to be. Now, the fun part here is, they close on this house on the 23rd. We don't close on the new house until May 2nd. So this is where I've mentioned a couple times, just because I'm like, hey, by the way, there's gonna be a bit of a gap here because I'm going to be homeless. Is the state a secret? Yeah, I'm not saying where. Only because, like, I've realized in my mature age that, like, some things, it can be public knowledge, such as, like, what state you live in, your first and last name. But ideally, you don't want multiple of those things to be common knowledge. You should probably only have one of those be known. I'm like, oh, yeah. See, I'm not saying what state. In Yukon? Could start saying that, actually. Alaska. Totally. It's true. From an undisclosed bunker location. Now, I have an... sorry, my throat. I have an Airbnb for the interim. And I'm bringing, like, my whole setup with me because we're getting a moving service for most of it because it's just not viable not to. But they were like, anything over $1,000 we need to, like, specifically document in the event that we might, like, lose stuff, and so that we can insure it. And I was sort of like, oh yeah, they can lose stuff. So, like, my whole setup, like, everything that I need for work is, I'm taking it with me, like, in my car as I drive. So I'll have all of my equipment, but I don't think I'm gonna be streaming because I would have to set up more stuff than, like, the bare minimum for that. And I don't know if the internet will be viable, like, within the Airbnb for it. It probably won't be. So I will probably have, like, my main work PC at the Airbnb and set up, and I'm planning on working while I'm there, but I don't think I'll be able to stream. I think I'll be able to do video work, but I won't be able to stream is what I imagine. Being able to see Duck Ryu and Duck Jima in the background. Well, they're moving too. I have no concept of what my setup will look like at the new house. I really don't. I know like what room I'll be in. I have not been to the house in person though myself. So I have no real concept of like what I can do with that space until I'm like standing in it when I get there, you know? In early May, I'll be able to kind of walk in, post up in the doorway and be like, all right, what the fuck am I doing in here? You have a chance to make the ultimate gamer setup? I do, because I have an office. Like a full room. My setup will not be in my bedroom there. An upsize or a downsize? It's an upsize. Get this, that is cheaper than this house. But it's like 50% bigger. Because it's so much cheaper to live there compared to Minnesota. Granted, Minnesota has become one of the most expensive states in the US to live in. So that's not saying a whole lot. Location matters, yeah. It's a big upsize that is cheaper. Just because that economy is so different.
Warning, incoming missile. Missile evaded.
How long till he accidentally leaks his new state? I really won't. False was saying recently, what's it? She was like, you'll be able to hide where you live until you live with me. I think that was yesterday. And I started joking because False has been known on occasion to accidentally flash something on screen while streaming with like a display capture or something. Display capture being like the thing in OBS where it just shows your entire monitor instead of whatever you specifically set it up to show, which I use a lot of the time, so it might not sound that crazy, but generally people don't like to use it for this reason. She has flashed a lot of info on screen in the past by accident that is like, oh, first and last name, oh, city I live in. And she always goes and like immediately clears the VOD of it every time. But it's happened a few times and she's like, yeah, you'll be able to keep it hidden until you live with me. And then it's over. That's gonna leak so fast. Like, you're right. God damn it.
Lock on.
'Cause I'm good about keeping secrets. You know? I am. Like, when we were doing the Green Man Gaming RE9 thing, that sponsor, I knew for so long beforehand that we were doing that. And I just had to keep it a secret. I wasn't allowed to talk about it for obvious reasons. But okay, this is actually a bad example because I did slip on that one. No one noticed it, but I did slip and accidentally say something about it before. And then I immediately moved on from it. Pulled an awkward recovery. I can talk about this now. It was so funny. I sent it to False and like my buddy Owen, and they were both just like, oh my God, because they knew about it. The sponsor at the time.
Stage complete. All aircraft return to base.
But Jesus Christ.
Alpha 1, engage the enemy.
Are they gonna allow her in the Airbnb? They are. Yes, she's fine. Team battle. I had to double check what to put progress on. Don't you guys love as well that we have to get 100 wins in every mode? And yet, 2 of the modes play so similarly that I have to look at like what game mode is in the corner in the aftermatch screen, because they realistically play the same. They're not actually different. I mean, they are. They're just like very slight variations of one another. Stream classic Armored Core in 360p. Siege should be permanently EML. I was just about to do Siege. Yeah, I got you with the Airbnb. I knew that's what you meant. I think someone asked if GMG can be trusted because so many YouTubers were getting sponsored by them. We were talking about how cheap it is. GMG, like, weirdly, you say because so many people are getting sponsored by them. I didn't realize how few people they worked with until they were reaching out to me. Because they were like, oh yeah, here's like a portfolio of previous sponsor work that we've done. And the videos were like pre-RE9. They did a big RE Requiem marketing campaign. But prior to that, bro, the stuff that they were sending me to be like, oh yeah, look at what we've done in the past, was like 6 months apart every time. Like, I would open one and then open the next one, and they were like 6 months apart. And like half of them were with Skill Up. Like, genuinely, the majority of sponsor segments they've done on YouTube prior to RE9 were with Skill Up. Like, almost all of them were him, which was hilarious. Because, I mean, I had heard of them before from Skill Up. That's where I had heard the name before. So I thought it was funny. They sent me like videos that I had watched from him to be like, yeah, look at our previous work with YouTubers.
Special weapons running low.
Ugh.
All special weapons used.
Everyone I saw was about the RE9 post-launch disc. Oh, post-launch? I only ended up doing pre-launch with them. But I know they were doing post-launch. Like, I saw a couple. Oh, pre-launch. Okay, I was gonna say. I know they did some post-launch, but I was gonna say I don't think they did a whole lot of it. I think it was mostly the fact, like, that they were trying to hype up that you could get a discount before the game was even out. Like, that was kind of the big deal with RE9, and especially with it being RE9, right? Like, what will inevitably be at least a top 3 game of the year in terms of just sales and stuff. I think they were just really trying to push that as hard as they could. They're still doing the discount? I would believe it. Because that's a partnership with Capcom, right? So I would believe that they just are still getting the keys and stuff from them. I feel like I haven't heard that one in a minute. Oh, son of a bitch. Eesh. Yeah, saw that coming. There they are. Oh wait, why did I grab shades? That's not even...
You gotta get used to taking 2 of them at once. That's gonna happen a lot.
That's one of the new ones that Chole added the other day. That's one of the new ones Chole was just talking about. That one is so wild. Ow. Are you prepared? Chole is not prepared.
This is Alpha 1 requesting backup.
Oh, come on. There. It works. It just works.
Shut down.
It just works. Shill Up stays winning. I love Shill Up. I feel like I haven't watched much from them
The enemy.
like this year though. I feel like I haven't seen them do a whole lot. At least, oh, caveman. Shit. Chole has not seen a whole lot of Shill Up this year. Assumedly, just not a whole lot like
Down.
intersecting with Chole's interests so far in the Big 26. Aside from Resident Evil, which Chole is sure they covered a lot,
Engage the enemy.
but Chole was covering Resident Evil. So it's kind of that thing of like, you know, yeah, Chole was already on it. Chole didn't need all the news and such, all the details. Yeah. Nosferatu. Oh God. Okay. Yeah.
Kill confirmed. Operation Alpha complete.
What a snipe.
Move on to another airspace. Warning, incoming missile.
We're almost at 50. Chole was just thinking about that. Like this morning.
Operation Bravo complete. You're doing great. Continue on with the mission. Careful now.
Because, like, weirdly, you would think that Chole would have had the realization sooner than this morning
Operation Charlie complete.
that the channel is close to 50.
Base have been eliminated. Nice work.
But you really don't, like, weirdly,
Last group.
until you look at it. And I think this morning, oh shit. Chole thinks this morning when he, like, logged in and opened up the dashboard, because it has the sub count, like, in big numbers, like, literally at the top middle of the like homepage, like the landing page of YouTube Studio. It has like current subscribers in a big bold number. So it is like the first thing that you see every time you log in is your current sub count. Huh.
Crashed.
What? Okay. Chole thinks it was like 47.8, was it, this morning? And that's when Chole was like, whoa. 47.8 is close to 50. It is 47.8. It's almost 47.9. Chole doesn't think that that is visible on the user side of YouTube. Doesn't it just get abbreviated to like single decimal? It's almost 0.9.
Watch out, the enemy has a lock on you.
But weirdly, like, the realization that it's about to be 50K didn't really happen until this morning. You would think that at like 40K, Chole would look at it and be like, oh, that's almost 50. But it doesn't really, like, 40K just kind of feels like its own thing. Like, when Chole saw 40K, he was just like, oh, 40K. Blam.
Forces are hanging on by a thread. We're almost done here.
Chole also has another YouTube channel. Whoa. Sorry. That's about to get monetized. So that's been like the bigger like YouTube progress goal currently. As weird as that is, because that's like the side thing that only gets like a few hours of work a week, if even. That's like a spare time project right now because it's not monetized. But once it is, things can certainly happen for that.
All aircraft return to base. Shut down.
One day when you're too famous and wealthy to communicate with us lowly chatters, remember who is here to watch you play Pachi slots.
Alpha 1, engage the enemy. Enemy forces are approaching the city. Intercept.
Just reminded me to post my AC1 build. Your what? What are you talking about? Crazy. What are you talking about? What do you mean by that?
Fired.
At least my ringtone was very loud there. I feel like sometimes it, like I must accidentally turn it down or something. I don't know.
Alpha 1, ESM is active.
Sometimes I just have to be like, oh yeah, the caveman is over. Trust me, bro. But that time it was real loud. Oh boy.
Enemy kill confirmed.
Okay, hold on. Did you guys know that in YouTube Studio, even though YouTube like abbreviated the sub counts on the user end, in the dashboard it's still like exact sub count the way that it used to be before they abbreviated them. And honestly, the abbreviations do kind of look nicer, as much as having the exact number visible is fun. But for those curious, it is 47,879 as of this moment right now, this moment in time. Okay.
Special weapons running low. All special
Shit.
weapons used.
This bitch.
Lock on. Box 2. Missile missed. Crashed.
Word on the street also is that there's a new legend arising because there weren't enough side projects in my life. I understand why he wants to gatekeep it. What, the other YouTube channels that I do on the side? Is that what we're talking about, gatekeeping right now?
ESM is active.
Yeah. We do a little gatekeeping. A little secretive activity. It's a Raid Shadow Legends channel. Bro, could you imagine? I know, what's it? There's this one guy on YouTube. I would never know his name or anything. Like, I wouldn't be able to point him out. But I know there is, like, a pretty big YouTuber who legit is just a Raid creator. Like, that is his game. He exclusively covers Raid Shadow Legends. And legitimately, that guy pulls views. That guy does well. And obviously, Raid has a huge, like, influencer marketing budget. And they love him, as you might imagine. He works with them all the time. That guy does well. It's just one of those occasional reminders, at least for me, that I am just like, once in a blue moon, I get that reminder that, like, yeah, mobile gaming is huge. Like, there is a big audience that just loves mobile games. It's always a wild reminder whenever I do get it. Dude's whole channel is sponsored. I mean, pretty much. He gets, like, very frequent, like, I swear, whenever they do run a new ad campaign with creators on YouTube, he gets one. And I mean, you can imagine why, right? Popular 40K mobile game called Tacticus or something. Remember, Candy Crush has over 1 billion downloads. It really, like, every once in a while you hear these things and you're like, man, it's so easy to forget from, like, our perspective that mobile gaming is really fucking huge. And there is so much money in that industry, both on the development side and, like, all the other sides that come with the normal gaming industry, like journalism, content creation, all that. There's just so much money going around in mobile gaming, more than goes around in, like, home console and PC gaming. It's crazy. It's always a major wake-up call. Ooh. Sorry, my knuckles. I don't know if you can hear them. Heard of people spending absurd money on Candy Crush? Bro. I have heard some crazy numbers about just mobile games in general, like Candy Crush, yeah. Like, you guys remember that guy who spent like 130K on just one character on Diablo Immortal? Did anyone else see that story going around when it happened? The dude who spent, like, legit over 100 grand on gearing up a single character on Diablo Immortal to get, like, the perfect gear for his build and all that. It's fucking wild. I remember. I could not believe what I heard with that story. I hear stories like that, and I really just sit back and I'm like, man, I bought Diablo 2 for like 40 bucks. I have like a few hundred hours in it. A few characters who are like close to perfect build-wise. And then you just hear shit like that. It's insane. It's legitimately insane. About Fate mobile fans, Tibby's mentioned it a few times. Apparently Tibby used to play Fate. Oh, there it is. Speaking of, it's a gacha game, isn't it? He tried to show off to his wife a gacha waifu. Oh my god, the wedding fund story. Yes. That was it was wasn't it Genshin Impact? Wasn't it? Like he pulled out of their savings account that they specifically had set aside for gacha, or sorry, for a wedding. He spent a lot of that money on Genshin Impact. That was a crazy story.
Alpha 1, engage the enemy.
Pulled out like $600. It's insane. False would never. Granted, we don't really have plans for like a shared account outside of like one for like basic bills and stuff at some point, but currently we don't roll like that, but she would never. Especially because I do all of my banking with like high yield accounts. So I am big on like, if that money sits there, that money makes more money. My god, my high yield account, by the way, got bumped up like this last week. For people who know like high yield accounts, well, I guess it's not that bad. TLDR, APY. I don't even know what it stands for, but it is the yearly interest that you get paid to your account from your bank, right? Your average bank account has like 0.001% APY, legitimately. Like if you've ever seen, if you have a bank like that and you get like the, here's your interest payment of like 2 or 3 cents in December, that's why. It's because you have an account with like 0.001%, which is pretty standard for like your average bank. But if you bank where they do high yield and you open a high yield account specifically, annual percentage yield. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually. It gets to be way more.
Stage complete. All aircraft return to
My account was like 3.7% APY, and they pay it monthly. Like they calculate and pay monthly, not 3.7%, but like
enemy forces are
they take the current account balance, figure out how much 3.7% of that would be, and then like divide it by 12 to pay the monthly amount, right? TLDR, basic. But it now got bumped up to 4.5% with the slight asterisk of it's only on the first $20,000 in the account, which for most people is like, most people don't have more than 20K in their savings account, right? So I saw that, I went, that's pretty fucking good. That's pretty great. Have a shared account for bills. Why did I say builds? And direct debits, but we deposit money into it each month from our own private accounts. Yeah, that's basically like when we have talked about it, which we barely even discussed it because both of us are just like not at that point. That's pretty much what we've talked about doing, like exactly what we've talked about doing. Actually, let me do a BR instead. I'm gonna restart this BR instead. Came to realize how blue Verdict Day is. Yes, it's very blue. It's mostly the private banks that give you the most returns. Generally, yeah. The private banks will offer a larger return. But now I am excited for May 1st to roll around to see that difference in my monthly interest payment. I get excited over these things. It's totally normal. Verdict Day is a good Armored Core.
Alpha 1, engage the enemy.
I'm sorry, I only just saw Hasriel saying it's kind of fair in reference to the 100k on a Diablo character, Diablo Immortal. It's kind of fair. Dude only plays one game, and that's a Diablo. And that's like his hobby. So could you blame the guy for spending a shit ton on his hobby? I get what you're saying. But at the same time, I don't know if I have spent 100 grand on games, like, in my life, total. If you totaled it all up, I don't even know if I've spent $100,000. I don't think I have. I would hope to God I have not. I can't imagine I have. And it's not even like... and that's coming from me, right? I made my hobby my career twice because I'm that passionate about it. To the point where the first way wasn't quite working for me, so I found another way to still make my hobby my career. And like even outside of work, I game just because I enjoy it. I have shit that I play just for fun. Like I've been playing Marathon and enjoying that. Right? And I have not spent like 100 grand on gaming in my entire life total. Cumulative. He spent it on one Diablo Immortal character. A singular character in Diablo Immortal. It's insanity. Even when you look at it like that, it's insane. Got Marathon, nice. It's very fun. I like it. It's a fun spin on extraction shooter stuff because like it is an extraction shooter, right? Like it absolutely is, and it has a lot of those hallmarks, but it's very different from like Escape from Tarkov, where Tarkov, everything that you extract, you're kind of mainly focused on like the monetary value of it. But Marathon, you're kind of more focused on like the practical application of everything that you extract with. Where it's less like you're looking for something that you could sell for like 50k on the flea market. And it's more like, this run, I'm hoping that I can find like a better shield, like better armor, so that I can become more powerful and geared up to kind of go to that next level of content. Right, to have the gear for it. And maybe it's only like that in the early game, because Marathon also basically starts with like nothing available from vendors, but then as you do contract work for the vendors, their shops expand slowly, like gradually, in terms of what weapons, attachments, armor, all that you can buy from them. It builds over time as you work for them and like build up your reputation. So maybe later in the game, it does become more about money, but in the early game, it's very different. But I kind of like it. I kind of like that it has such like clearly defined, like difficulty blocks, and that you kind of have to learn both the game's mechanics and stuff to be able to do it, and gear yourself up with the lower end content first and then enter it. It's a fun spin. And I've been playing it with False, mainly. Like, we played a bit with False's friend Kaz last night. We ran it, the three of us, but it's mostly just been me and False playing it as a two-man. In a game where the standard is 3 people. Like, generally, if you run into a group of players, or if you just even see one player, you kind of assume that there's 3 because everyone is running 3-man. And the game does have like squad fill or whatever you call it in that. It has squad fill. You guys know the meaning of that, right? It has that. So like pretty much everyone is running with 3 people, but we've been running it with 2. And honestly, you can run it with 2 just fine, even though it is kind of like a 3-man game. But if I were playing like solo with no squad fill, I don't think that game would be very enjoyable. I think that game would just be too hard to enjoy that way. I feel like you would at least need to have the squad fill enabled to be able to really enjoy it solo. What does False think of it? She's enjoying it. She hasn't played an extraction shooter before, so it's all kind of new to her, whereas for me it's like familiar stuff but with a twist. For her it's just straight up new. And I keep saying while we're playing it, I'm like, man, I would love to play Tarkov with you, but the PvP in Tarkov is so brutal to get into and learn and everything that I would not expect you to get into it that way. And they added the PvE thing where you can play co-op and just do the quests, and like they beef up the AI enemies, but you're not playing against other players necessarily. They have that, but they made it a $30 expansion on top of buying the base game, which I think is like $50 at full price. But Kaz also, because we were talking about it last night, he turned me on to, apparently, before they even added the PvE thing officially, and I didn't know this, there was a modded client for Tarkov that made the game like work exactly as it does online but offline. And the whole purpose of it is like for it to work as a building block to be able to play with mods and like mod the game just in general. But if we used that client and then just added like a co-op mod to it, because one does exist, he was like, I wonder if there is one. There is. Then you just don't need to buy the $30 DLC. Because that was one of the things, like business-wise, when I talk about how much, like, I love Tarkov, but a lot of the things and like the direction that game was moving in put me off. Them adding a PvE mode so that like casual players and people who just want to play it like in co-op with friends for fun and don't want to sweat their balls off, like they added that to the game. People were asking for it for years, and then they made it a $30 DLC. Like that was one of the things that built up to me just being like, yeah, I don't know if I want to actively play this game all the time anymore. Because what the fuck do you mean? You're making something that should realistically just be an update to the core game, an additional $30 for people who would want it. It's ridiculous. I remember how much the PvP sweats were malding over PvE. Yeah, and that was a whole thing too. Like the side of the community who does just literally go into raids to do nothing but hunt down other players and try to get their shit. They were pissed because they're like, man, now with PvE being a thing, none of the shitter players are going to be running around like being easy targets for good loot. It's going to be only PvP sweats in the PvP version of the game. And it's like, well, yeah, because the people who don't want to get that into the PvP and learn it to that extent and try that hard every time they play, they don't want to play against you, man. Like, they really don't. They really don't. Just play Arma 3. Arma's so different from Tarkov. Like, I like Arma 3. Not as much as 2, but I like 3 a lot. I played a lot of Arma 3. But Tarkov is its own thing. It's not even comparable outside of like both of them have some like sim-like elements to them. Arma 3 is a lot less sim heavy than like Arma 1 or 2, which is why I say it's a little more like sim-like. Arma kind of moved away from heavy sim elements after 2 and started trying to make it a little more digestible, which is understandable. I hold nothing against them for it, but I'm definitely way more into Arma 2 because, like, frankly, if I'm playing Arma, it's because I want that sim aspect of the game. You know, like I'm playing Arma. It's the whole point. So like 3 and Reforger haven't grabbed me the same way. I don't think Arma will ever grab me the same way it did with 2, to be fair. Because 2 also, Arma 2 was like one of those lightning in a bottle games where they nailed, like, the sim elements were good, everything about the game was good, and then the modding scene popped off. Like, if you don't want to play vanilla Arma 2 and you want like new ways to engage with it and like new experiences within it, bro, Arma 2's modding scene was insane. DayZ. Like, I feel like every gamer knows DayZ. DayZ was an Arma 2 mod. It was an Arma 2 overhaul mod. Where it was like Arma 2, but zombie survival game. Like, they had crazy mods like that. Marathon visuals are really nice. It's a game that even False, when we play it, like last night when we played with Kaz, we loaded into like our first run for the night. And I think we walked around for like a minute or so. And False just out of nowhere was like, it is a really pretty game. And False normally isn't too vocal with stuff like that, but she was just unprompted like, yeah, this is a very nice looking game. I thought DayZ was stinky. I did not enjoy the retail release of DayZ. The DayZ mod for Arma 2 was awesome. But the retail release was missing so much of like the sauce that the mod had. So I never got into it as much. Like, legitimately to this day, even after they updated the retail release and all that as much as they did, if you want the best DayZ experience, the best experience is still going to be the Arma 2 mod. The standalone retail release of DayZ is just not as good, unfortunately. I think there was definitely like potential for another one of those like mod that turned into its own franchise, like successful franchise sort of things there. I think DayZ could have been one of those, but the retail release just wasn't as good. I was trying to find a better word for it, but it really just, it wasn't the same. As the simplest way to say it. That's just what it is. It wasn't the same. Scalable hybrid texture and temporal reconstruction. That sounds awful. That, not even just like the name, but like that sounds terrible. The shitter. Are you shitposting? There's no way. This has to be a meme. I didn't even realize that it was shitter until you said it. That, you have to be joking. This is made up. This isn't real. Him saying the shitter made me realize this has to be a meme. Pisser and shitter. Yeah, okay. I was like, bro, there's no way that's real. Especially after what happened with Pisser, they would absolutely be careful about how they end up branding it. Pisser is so funny, though. I will never get over pisser, like, actually being the acronym. Surely they had to know, right? Surely they had to know when they were, you know, putting together, like, the actual name for the public, that people weren't always going to want to say PSSR. And that people would try to shorthand it even further, right? Like, they had to know. And someone in the room had to be like, they might call it pisser. Someone had to have this realization. Oh, I forgot to switch my weapon. Pisser has become quite the iconic name, which is hilarious. Like, that it stuck so broadly. Like, it's not even a small community that uses the term pisser. Like, everyone just calls it pisser. It became pisser after they announced it. No one says PSSR. Genuinely. I don't hear anyone actually say it properly, ever. And that's the pisser. It is. Just is. My missile warning, dude. If Microsoft comes out with shitter, I'll buy a Series X. Specifically, it has to be called shitter. I don't, not talking about the actual tech or anything itself. The requirement is being named shitter. If it's not named shitter, I don't want it. Shitter is a bit too offensive, then I don't want it. That is my requirement personally for purchase. It needs to be called shitter.
Shut down. Alpha 1, engage the enemy. Operation
Let's
Alpha
go.
complete. You're doing great. Continue on with the mission. Fired.
Yeah, okay. I got a little careless there. Oh.
Alpha 1, engage the enemy.
We're still working with AMD for it. I don't know. I don't know who they're working with for it. I don't feel like I really heard much about that. Generally, console manufacturers go with AMD because of the price.
Operation Charlie complete. Enemy forces within Operation Airspace have been eliminated. Nice work. Target coordinates have been sent. This is the last group. Sam kill confirmed. Watch out, the enemy has a lock.
What? That was a weird hitbox. Uh-oh. Let's not get that crazy. PlayStation and Xbox have been AMD for a while. So has Nintendo, hasn't it?
Destroyed.
If I'm not mistaken, doesn't the Switch run an AMD? Or am I crazy? I thought the Switch had AMD in it too. Eesh, ow.
Shut down.
Switch 1 was NVIDIA.
Alpha 1,
Oh.
engage the enemy.
Switch 2 still is NVIDIA? What? I thought they were AMD. Saw Mario Galaxy today. It was just okay. Budget and the characters they used were amazing. They could have made a way better movie. That's what I've heard a lot of. I keep hearing that it's kind of like
Enemy forces are hanging on by a thread.
what's it?
Almost done here.
I get that reference, the movie.
Stage complete. All
Which, to be
aircraft
fair, the first game also kind of was.
shut down.
Or first game, the first movie also felt that way a lot of the time,
Alpha 1, engage the enemy.
admittedly.
Enemy
But
forces are approaching the city. Intercept.
I heard that like the second movie had a little less going on outside of the references and stuff. But I do keep hearing that it looks amazing. And I did see little bits and pieces of it because someone posted the entire movie on Twitter. And I did not care to watch the entire movie. But I had a few minutes at the time, so I kind of jumped around at random and I saw little bits and pieces. And it did look like it was animated well. Second movie does look incredible. It seems that way from what little I saw.
Aircraft down.
Like I saw Mario and Luigi at that little town from that little desert town from Mario Odyssey. I saw Peach, was it Peach and Toad whooping ass in a casino? I saw a little bit of that. I'm so serious when I tell you that I came across the entire film on Twitter and just kind of jumped around a bit at random, looked at it a bit, and then moved on.
ESM is active.
So I saw little random scenes. Spoilers, man, it's fucking Mario.
Special weapons running low. All special weapons used. Alpha 1, ESM is active.
There are no spoilers. Nintendo showed the whole ass movie in the advertising. They did that with the first movie too, to be fair. I feel like a lot of kids movies or like family movies, sorry.
Alpha 1,
Sorry.
engage the enemy.
I can't use that term. The Nintendo fans on Twitter will come after me. What was I saying? I feel like a lot of family films, animated family films, tend to be that way though. Did you guys see a bunch of the Mario fans on Twitter getting pissed at Maximilian Dude because he tweeted about how his daughter, who's like 4 or 5 years old, if I'm not mistaken, didn't enjoy the movie? That shit was crazy to me. Like that they were pissed at him for just sharing that his daughter wasn't very big on the movie.
Enemy plane down.
People always hating on Max. It's true. My daughter loved it. Apparently his daughter wanted to leave. Like halfway through. Which is crazy because like
All special weapons used.
kids generally, I feel like, will just eat up whatever you put in front of them at that age. Like, I feel like you so rarely hear of like a 4 or a 5-year-old being bored with a movie in the theater to the point where they want to leave. Like, how often do you hear about that? That is wild to me.
Alpha 1, engage the enemy.
There's a group of 8 to 10-year-old kids behind me in the theater, and they didn't love it. They were also super annoying. I went to the IMAX hoping that parents wouldn't pay for their kids to go to the IMAX. Bro, parents are paying their kids to go to IMAX. What are you talking about? Paying for their kids. They're not paying their kids to go to IMAX. But you get what I'm saying. I missed a word in there.
ESM is active.
Oh my. Where'd he go? There he is. It locked onto the jammer plane. Confused the shit out of me. Ugh. Oh boy. It worked. It's 160 quid on those tickets. That is insane. It's ridiculous. I forget why I haven't seen many movies in theaters these recent years. Why I tend to wait, even though I love going to the movie theater.
Shut down.
That's a reminder. Is Star Fox, and they made Rosalina and Peach sisters. I did see people talking about that on Twitter as well. Go on weekdays during the day. If you're trying to avoid kids, that would be the way to do it. Shit. There we go. She has 5 lines. Yeah, I heard Rosalina was barely in the movie. I did see people saying that on Twitter as well. Perks of no children, I get to be antisocial. Or what do you mean? You get to be even more antisocial with children. Think about it. Right?
Shut down.
5 days out of the week, they're at school. And then when they're not at school, you don't have to be in public because you have to take care of the kids. Because I have to take care of them. I got it. I got it. Don't forget older is crazy. I caught that at a glance and took me a second to process. Oh my god.
Alpha 1, ESM is active.
I'll get the milk, you stay at home. All right, I could do that. That's why you have to make them an iPad kid. No iPads. That's probably a good idea to keep in mind.
Shut down.
And honestly, gaming-wise, even though I recognize that it's not the most responsible, I'll just do what my parents did. Like, here you go. Consoles, games. Fucking go to town. You take your pick. There you are. Well, that's not even him.
Enemy kill confirmed.
Books and games, exactly. Books, gaming consoles, go for it. iPads? Nah. Not the iPads. I swear there's something to that. Like, I can't be a boomer. You don't read, so please give them some books. No online COD? What do you... I turned out fine. Plus, people barely even talk on COD anymore.
ESM is active.
It's not like it used to be. Like, when I played COD, bro, every lobby I got in, people were fucking talking to each other on mics. You play COD nowadays, it's like a rare occurrence that you hear people on their microphones on COD. Tablets and social media banned. Bro, I feel like the social media thing will work its way out by the time I ever get there anyway. Like, everywhere is starting to put in, like, all these things. Beyond just, like, the social media's TOS. Like, so many places are starting to be, like, yeah, legally enforced, like, you have to be 16 to be on social media, which is probably a good idea. Like, I grew up on the internet and social media and stuff, too, but... that part is where I'm like, that's probably better.
Alpha 1, engage the enemy. Enemy forces are approaching the city. Intercept.
How do I get my daughter hooked on gaming? I was as old as her when I started gaming. Honestly, like, it's funny because I look back on it, right? And I really am like, man, just throwing me a PS1 and like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, all that, probably a bad idea. But it sure worked. I kept myself busy. Like, they barely even had to worry about what I was doing throughout the day. Like, I was occupied. I had crazy nightmares. That was like the only downside. I had crazy, wild nightmares as a kid. Consistently. But that, you know, it's fine. It eventually worked itself out. I got to a point where the zombies in RE2 didn't scare me anymore. But that worked. Used to watch my brother play games. The watching thing could maybe work. I could see that. Oh, wrong paint job. There. I grew up playing a lot of racing games. I could see that too. And those are pretty easy to get into. Like at a base level if you're not super familiar with games, right? Mr. Takamine coming for my ass in my dreams. Yeah, dude. One of the first games I remember playing was Air Combat. Bro, we gotta put them... False. False. They get the retro shit first. We start them on the retro. Think about it, think about it. Because then you don't get all the fucking stupid shit. Like, oh, the graphics in these old games are so bad. Oh, the controls and like the way that these games work is so old and bad. You don't get that. Start them there. They work up. That becomes their baseline, and then everything else after, like, that's not the norm, that's the evolution, you know? Think about it. They start in the early to mid 90s. Right? You don't choose a game that requires button mashing, true. I don't know what a good game to like start someone on gaming would be. I feel like, especially as a kid on top of just trying to learn games, like, there's just gonna be that stage of like a lot of just pressing buttons and slowly piecing together how things actually work beyond that. Right? Halo CE, I played a lot of Halo 1 and 2 when I was around that age as well. What else? Splinter Cell, the original. I only had the original Splinter Cell on the Xbox. Because again, it was just whatever my dad had. So only the first Splinter Cell. I guess he wasn't that into it. Because other things, he would like get the sequels, right? Splinter Cell, only the first one. Ghost Recon as well. Maybe he did enjoy it because he had other Tom Clancy games. Rainbow Six on the PS1. The PS1 version of the original Rainbow Six. He had so many Tom Clancy games. He must have enjoyed it, but just maybe not particularly Splinter Cell. I don't know. I don't know. Although, after like 2002, he didn't game a whole lot. Like Halo 2 he bought because Halo 1 was so like amazing, in his words. Because he did like after I was born, he kind of stopped gaming just all around. But he bought a couple things past when I was born. And Halo 2 was like one of the very few where like that came out a few years after I was born, but he still bought it. And I don't think he really played it much. Like from what we've talked about, I think he really only played the first one, but he bought the second one because he loved the first one. And because Halo 2, when it was coming out, was like making national news headlines because of how much excitement there was around it. And then it came out, and Halo 2, fun Halo trivia. For like the first month when it came out in 2004, was like the highest earning first month of any entertainment product ever. Like it brought in more revenue than any like movie or game or book or anything at that point had brought in its first month. Like there was that much excitement around Halo 2. Which is insane looking back on it. And then it stayed that way for a bit until Halo 3 beat it. And then I don't know what beat Halo 3. I know it's probably been passed around a few times since. And to be fair, games have an advantage in this category as entertainment products because they're like 60, 70 bucks during their first month. So when you're just judging it off of revenue, yeah, they kind of get a boost there. Even though, especially back then, they were more niche. But I know Halo 2 for the longest time, I was old enough to appreciate the madness when it happened. Had friends begging me to come over to play it. Yeah. I didn't experience it, but like I've seen like reruns of the news segments and stuff that they were doing here. Of people like going fucking crazy waiting to get into GameStop to pick up their Halo 2.
You're leaving combat airspace. Turn back immediately.
Shit's hilarious.
Fire.
God, what beat Halo 3?
Shut down.
It's gonna drive me nuts now, thinking about it.
Alpha 1, engage the enemy.
Everything in the games has dead-ass been Spartan-proofed. Hid yellow from me for years. Midnight releases, yeah. I never went to a midnight release. The closest, what was the first game that I got up like at midnight to play? Because the closest thing that I had to like midnight release was digital pre-orders. So it was at least like once digital storefronts were a really big deal. So my parents, I mentioned it before, but I got so into games from when I was young after they just fucking handed me the keys and everything, to the point where they were like, okay, this is too much interest in games. You gotta calm down a bit, man. I think they underestimated the TISM when they gave me all that. They thought it would be like, he'll play some games.
Leaving combat airspace. Turn
They had no
back
idea what
immediately.
would happen.
We have radar lock on.
But they weren't too big on me being into it like that to where they would have brought me to like a midnight release. So the first thing that I would have had like that, I want to say, God, what was the first thing that I got up like at midnight to play that I pre-ordered on Xbox?
Crashed.
Would have been on Xbox for sure. I wasn't big on PS3 or PS4. So I know it was something on Xbox. I'm trying to think like what the first one would have been.
Alpha 1, engage the enemy.
I know for a fact that I was up at midnight playing Doom 2016 when it came out. I know that one 100% for sure.
Fired.
But there has to have been one before that. There has to be.
Shut down.
I know it. It was because I was thinking, I'm like, Halo 5 as well. I know the actual first thing that I like got up in the middle of the night to play when it came out.
Engage the enemy.
It was Modern Warfare 3. That was the first one. It has to have been. I can't think of anything before that. I think it was Modern Warfare 3 when that came out. I remember getting up in the middle of the night. Maybe not at midnight, but like, I remember that. My first pre-order was Colonial Marines. Bro, I'm so sorry. My first was MW3. And I'm pretty sure I did get up in the middle of the night for it. It was the first game I ever pre-ordered.
We have radar lock on.
I'm glad that my first pre-order is not one that I look back on the way that you probably look back on Colonial Marines. I'm glad that it was like Modern Warfare 3. I'm thankful that it's one that like, you get me talking about Modern Warfare 3 to this day. I have almost only good things to say about it. Almost. You get me going on some things from MW3, I'm gonna rant. But for the most part, like, I think of MW3, crazy campaign, and at that age I was very into the COD campaigns. Whereas now I'm more like, COD campaigns, they are what they are. I play them once when the game comes out, never again. Back then, bro, like, I remember when I got my 360, I was a little late to the party. Because growing up, I had the older systems. Right? I was a little late. But I remember that my Xbox 360 came with the demo disc. Just like, it was packaged in there with it for Modern Warfare 2. And that disc literally was just one campaign mission. It was Cliffhanger from MW2, which anyone who played the MW2 campaign a good bit by name will just be like, yep, that mission was fucking awesome. And if you don't know it by name, but you did play MW2's campaign back in the day, it's the one where you're in the snowy mountains and you like climb up with the ice picks to the base, and then you sneak through the base like while there's a blizzard going through, and you use the blizzard for cover. It's that mission. And then you get the snowmobile escape at the end. I played that like on loop when I got my Xbox 360. That was like the coolest shit ever. And then I eventually got Modern Warfare 2. And like it was over. It was just that campaign was so much fun. So when MW3 was coming out and that campaign was also really good, bro. That was a good week. The week that MW3 came out, and I blasted that campaign like probably 2 times at least, maybe 3. I played a little multiplayer, I played a little survival, but man, when it first came out, I just played that campaign on loop. Because at that age, like the Call of Duty campaigns were the coolest fucking thing ever. Because like nowadays, in my mature age, I can look at a Call of Duty campaign and be like, okay, yeah, this is nothing but just like crazy over the top spectacle with little substance behind it. But at that age, the crazy over the top spectacle was all that mattered, bro. That shit was amazing. That was the coolest shit. Absolutely. The coolest shit. We gotta do COD campaigns again at some point. We only ended up doing COD 1. We gotta... Things just got so busy after I tried to squeeze it in. Like, they were already busy, and then they got busier. I gotta get back to that. Had to have it on hard when I got sniped. No, not with you. When I streamed the Call of Duty 1 campaign. False and I did play a little bit of World at War. And my brain was like, oh, especially with 2 players. Yeah, veteran. Forgetting how World at War's veteran difficulty is. So we only played like 2 missions.
You're leaving combat airspace. Turn back immediately.
You ever finish it? I think I did. I may not have, but I'm pretty sure I did. We were like near the end at least. Did I? I think I did. I don't... The thing is, I remember streaming like bits of the Russian campaign specifically. I don't know if I did finish it.
Special weapons running low. All special weapons used.
I very, very vividly remember certain bits of the Russian campaign. From COD 1, which is the last one. So like that's where I know we were near the end of it. Because I happened to be streaming Call of Duty 1 the day that Charlie Kirk got shot. And bro, everyone started coming into my fucking Call of Duty stream to be like, oh my god, Charlie Kirk was shot. And I was like, okay, boys, simmer down. Like, we're playing Call of Duty here. I've never even talked about this guy on my stream before. Like, calm down a little bit. Like, I know I get a little political on occasion, but like, Jesus Christ.
Engage the enemy.
I vividly remember needing to wrangle chat back in. Because Charlie Kirk got shot while I was streaming Call of Duty. So I can very clearly remember that we were at least like near the end. Mostly because of that. But I don't know if I ever finished it. Imagine streaming during JFK assassination. Bro. It was crazy. Just like everyone immediately started flooding chat with it.
Watch out, the enemy has a lock on you.
Ow. Remember you said you'll time out anyone who gets political? Yeah, I did have to like legit wrangle chat back in and be like, all right, we're done with this topic. It's over. I remember being like, I get that it's crazy current news and all that, but like, bro, we're playing COD. Like, this is not the place for it.
Alpha 1, engage the enemy.
I thought you said you wanted to play it again. Yeah, I was just talking about streaming the COD campaigns. I mean, you and I should do COD campaigns just in our own time at least, because they're fucking hilarious. For sure. But I was talking about on stream.
Sam kill confirmed.
And they are legitimately very entertaining because they are just pure spectacle. So once you get over the fact that you're like, man, there's not a whole lot of substance beyond just crazy over-the-top shooty here. Once you get past that, they are a crazy amount of fun. I mean, we played the BO7 one co-op because False was excited that it had a co-op campaign. And it was a good time playing it in co-op, for sure. But also, like, BO7's campaign.
Special weapons running low.
Enough said.
All special weapons used.
You know what False said about the BO7 campaign when we played it together, chat? That makes me think that she probably would enjoy the others. Just the rest of the Call of Duty campaigns. Yeah, she liked it. She enjoyed the BO7 campaign. So when she said that to me after we finished it, I was like, well, congratulations. You must really enjoy Call of Duty campaigns. Because, oh my God. Even I was not into, what's it? The BO7 campaign much, really at all. Outside of, like, it had some really goofy, funny moments. Yeah, but she likes Drakengard. It's true.
Move on to another airspace.
I think COD people just complain about everything and are never happy. Well, that is also true.
Operation
Yes,
Alpha
but
complete. You're doing
I'm
great.
not like that. It was a bad campaign. By Call of Duty standards, the BO7 campaign was well below average. For sure. Like, what you're saying is true, but I'm not one of those people. And legitimately, the BO7 campaign was pretty rough. Like, BO6's campaign, last year, a year and a half ago,
Enemy forces within Operation Airspace.
that was a good ass. We played that on stream when it came out, and we had a blast with that. Like, I enjoyed it, chat enjoyed it. That was a good campaign. The BO7 one, yeah, it was certainly a campaign.
Anti-aircraft gun taken out.
Genuinely, which one was better, Battlefield 6 or Black Ops 7? I think the Black Ops 7 campaign had a better story than Battlefield 6 did. I think that Battlefield 6 had better gameplay than BO7's campaign did. So it's kind of a toss-up.
We have radar lock on.
I think BF6 was more enjoyable to stream at the very least. Because, what's it? It had the worst fucking dialogue ever. You know, we got amazing, like, instant banger, iconic lines like, holy fuck, is that a train? While we're in the subway. You know, moments like that made it very fun. But other than that, it really, both of them were brutal. Oh yes, it's the thumb. He hit the hard drive in the thumb.
Almost done here.
He's a tech guru. Of course, it's in his thumb.
Box 2. Missile struck target.
Bro just knew. He realized that he was a tech guy and he was like, oh my God, there's a hard drive in his thumb. Took exactly that thumb, boom, they had the hard drive. It was great. Perfect. Did she like the Battlefield 6 campaign? I don't think she played it. Last COD campaign I enjoyed was 2019.
Engage the enemy.
Well, Cold War was really good.
Intercept.
Black Ops 6 was really good too. I would agree that outside of like MW19, Cold War, and BO6, the Warzone era campaigns have been consistently lacking. Like, definitely just this whole era of COD has had pretty below average campaigns consistently. Like, even by the franchise's own standards. For sure. Because they used to be, like, consistently good or at least okay. With occasional bangers and occasional, shitters, right? Like, you go back before the Warzone era, and you just go in reverse order from it. BO4 didn't have a campaign, it got cut. So, can't speak on it. There was one in development that we never saw, so who knows. But, World War II, okay campaign. Very mid, I would say, personally. Some people really like it, I don't. I think it was okay. Infinite Warfare, like actual goated top 3 Call of Duty campaign. Infinite Warfare's campaign was awesome. Those who played it, those who knows, like they know. Infinite Warfare's campaign was so fucking good. Black Ops 3 campaign, total shitter. That was awful. Like genuinely, I still think the BO3 campaign was probably worse than BO7's campaign. That was awful. Advanced Warfare, good. Good campaign, like story was good, acting was good. Set pieces and like theming and everything, amazing. Advanced Warfare, the vibes in Advanced Warfare's campaign were fucking awesome. Right? Both, like, it was crazy. Ghosts, I would say bad, but not total shit. Like, the story was fucking abysmal, and the characters were so bad, but the gameplay and the set pieces were pretty good. So it's like, I would say it leans bad, but it's not like shit, you know? And then like Black Ops 2, really fucking good. MW3, really fucking good. Black Ops 1, also goated, easy top 3. MW2, also goated, easy top 3. Like my top 3, I don't know what order specifically I would put them in, but they would definitely be Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 1, and Modern Warfare 2. For sure. I don't know the exact order, but they would be the 3 if I were to rank them. Fun to play, bad to pay attention to is a great way to describe Ghosts. That is an amazing way to describe the Call of Duty Ghosts campaign. If you just turn your brain off, it can be a great time. If you attempt to turn the brain on, you are not going to have fun. World at War, goated campaign. COD 4, goated campaign. Like, they used to swing with a really high average, and then right before Warzone era, they started becoming a little more inconsistent. Like, I would say post BO2, they became a little more inconsistent, a little slippery. And then Warzone era, they've been mostly bad, with a few exceptions. Like MW19, Cold War, BO6, all good, for sure. Cold War was probably my favorite of those. Like MW19 probably second, and then BO6 probably third. World War II's was okay. I liked some of the mechanical stuff they tried to do, like with the squad and everything. But the story was not great. I mean, I get that they were doing the Band of Brothers thing. Like, a lot of people always say to people who didn't like the story all that much, they're like, oh, but have you not seen Band of Brothers? I've seen it. I get that's what they were going for. I just... they didn't do it as well as Band of Brothers. So, like, eh. Like, even on that, I just... yeah. It was okay. My biggest thing with World War II, that even Vanguard did this a lot better, is the set pieces weren't very good. Like, there weren't as many distinct moments in the missions where you, like, think back on them and you're like, oh my god, that was sick. Like, that was so fucking cool. Like, even Vanguard had way more moments like that. I didn't even finish the Vanguard campaign. I played it almost all the way through. I never finished it when it came out. Legitimately, I still have not seen the ending of that game. I can still think of, like, distinct moments that are burned into my brain from playing that campaign, like, 5 years ago when it came out. And I didn't even care enough to finish it. But I could name you a bunch of set pieces from it. World War II, I could really only name you, like, the mission where you go undercover in Germany, and that one train crash that was so ridiculous and over the top that it became a meme.
ESM is active.
Those are, like, the only two things that really stick in my brain like that from World War II, whereas, like, even Vanguard had that awesome opening mission on the train, like in the storm. And then they had, like, all of the Russian missions where you played as the female sniper, where, like, you get to go around Stalingrad while it's peaceful and, like, pre-bombing, pre-German siege. And then you live through the siege and the bombing and everything in France. See, I don't even remember where it was. I thought it was in Germany. That only serves to help my point. I thought that was in Germany, as I remembered it. Vanguard had all these things with the female sniper in Stalingrad, and then after the attack, like after all of her family died and everything, and you live through that in the mission, like, you then... it's based off of that one female sniper in Russia who, like, went down in legend for basically the same story. It's not literally her, but it's based on her. Where then you go around and, like, sneak through the snowy ruins of Stalingrad, hunting down, like, German commanders to get revenge for your family. All of that in Vanguard's campaigns stuck with me years later, because that shit was badass. I think there were, like, 2 or 3 missions of that in a row that were fucking cool. And then there's one where you played as a fighter pilot who was in the Eastern Front in Japan, and you get shot down, and you have to, like, sneak through the island, like, jungles and stuff in Japan around the Imperial Army and try to, like, find your way back to allies who will rescue you. Like, these things from Vanguard stuck in my brain and were way cooler, and take note, were more than just the American Western Front. Like, Vanguard actually did have a variety of armies and locations and stuff, whereas World War II only did the Western Front from the American perspective. And it's the only World War II COD game of the now 6. It's the only World War II era COD game that only focused on one perspective like that. Every other World War II era COD game had multiple perspectives in multiple areas of the war. And World War II just didn't do that. It completely dropped the ball on that aspect of how COD has always handled the World War II era. Because, like, realistically, World War II has so much, like, rich history and so much variety. Like, the fact that they would only do the most basic story that's been told in, like, every piece of World War II media ever and not use anything else to this day is still crazy to me. Like, that is wild to me that they only use, like, the most generic, the most broadly covered and discussed portion of the war. Wasn't World at War supposed to have a North Africa campaign? Yes. World at War had to cut one of its campaigns, which is why it only has Russia versus Germany and the US versus Japan. World at War was supposed to have 3. All of them had at least 3 up to that point. World at War only had 2 because they cut one. COD 2. Call of Duty 2 has the British fighting Germany in Africa. They have that whole, and I love that. I feel like there's nowhere near enough of that in World War II media. So it's a really interesting part of the war when you actually start looking at the history of it. And for some reason, it's never covered in media. I have no idea why. Don't think I ever played COD 2 and 3. Would you recommend? COD 2 absolutely is the best COD game, like pre-COD 4. COD 3 is my least favorite of, like, the classic COD games, if you would call them those. COD 3, you're not missing much. COD 3 is the only reason that I don't rank World War II as my least favorite World War II era COD game. COD 3 is the reason for that, because it's even worse. What's wrong with COD 3? Super janky gameplay, really lame set pieces, and a campaign that does cover multiple fronts of the war and jump around, but just none of it sticks in your head after. Like, you know how I was saying, like, those moments from each COD campaign that just when you think of that campaign, you immediately think of that moment? COD 3 just doesn't even have those, like, at all, legitimately. It doesn't have those moments that come to mind immediately. You know what? Let's get another siege in there. Looking at the spreadsheet, it needs to happen. It needs to happen. The Polish tanker campaign, yes. That is, like, the one interesting thing in COD 3, was it had a campaign where you played as the Polish army, specifically as tank operators from the Polish army. And that's cool. Like, that is a super unique perspective in a World War II piece of media. But aside from that, like, there's nothing. I'm so serious when I tell you there's nothing. That is, like, the one thing that does stand out as being memorable from COD 3 is just that it had that super unique perspective. And outside of that, that's it. I'm saying it needed more of that. I'm saying it needed a whole lot more of that.
I'm about to send you an objective point on radar. They know exactly what we plan to do.
A whole lot more,
Assume
yeah.
attack formation. Fired.
other than that, like,
Enemy aircraft down.
COD 3 can be kind of interesting to go back to because it was Treyarch's first Call of Duty game. It was also the first Call of Duty game not made by Infinity Ward, because they did 1 and 2. And obviously, like, Activision didn't know that Call of Duty would be so successful prior to the first one coming out. But then once the first one did come out, they were like, oh, fuck. This is selling like crazy. And they got Treyarch making their own Call of Duty that would end up being 3. While Infinity Ward was still on duty for 2. And then immediately after COD 2, you start seeing that like alternating dev studio thing that we still see today. Which COD campaign has your favorite intro? Are we just talking like first mission?
Alpha 1, engage the enemy.
Okay. Yeah, specifically the first mission. I'm trying to think here.
Sam destroyed.
A lot of COD campaigns don't immediately hit with like a banger opening mission. I feel like a lot of the campaigns have like a good mission early on, but they're like the second or third mission, you know? Like BO1 has Vorkuta, MW2 has Cliffhanger, but like the actual literal first mission doesn't stand out to that extent, sort of thing. COD 4, I immediately thought of the Crew Expendable, the boat mission from COD 4. Assuming that that is considered the first, I would consider that the first. It's technically the second mission of the campaign, but the first mission is just the tutorial. So, like, you know, I would say Crew Expendable is the first mission. Trying to think of, like, the first mission from each game. World at War has a good intro. Yeah, BO1 starts in the bar in Cuba. BO1 starts with Bay of Pigs.
Keep an eye on your 6 o'clock. Missile was evaded.
Which, like, it's a good opening, but I feel like with BO1, things like Vorkuta immediately follow that up and stand out way more. You know what I mean?
Alpha 1, engage the enemy.
Havana is the capital of Cuba. I meant Bay of Pigs as in, like, the invasion. The Bay of Pigs invasion is what BO1 opens with. Havana was part of it. Yeah, MW2's first mission is not very good. Like, you get Cliffhanger and stuff like that very shortly after, but that literal first mission where you play as the Rangers is very par for the course and doesn't really do it. Modern Warfare 3, sorry, I'm jumping ahead a bit. Modern Warfare 3 is going to be up there.
To another airspace.
That opening mission with, like, World War 3 has fully started. You're in New York City as it's being fucking bombed and barraged by Russians. That's a good mission. That's a good opening.
Operation airspace
Like,
has
literally,
eliminated. Nice work.
it fades in. Like, the first thing you see gameplay-wise in Modern Warfare 3 is you and Sandman, like, cutting yourselves out of your seatbelts in a wrecked Jeep
Special weapons running low.
and, like, climbing out.
Weapons used.
And you get this shot because the car is on its side to visualize for people who haven't played it. You open the door as you climb out, and, like, you look up as you open the door, and you see a skyscraper getting hit by a missile, and, like, a whole bunch of debris falls down next to you as you jump out of the car and get ready to fight in New York City in World War III. That's a good opening. That's a damn good opening. BO2 has the mission in Africa. That's a really good one, too. But, like, that's one of those moments in MW3 that sticks in your brain because it's so memorable. And it's literally the first thing you see in the entire game, right? So that's a really good opening. Just because that does burn itself into your brain really well. You don't really forget that little opening bit. Cold War does have a really good opening mission. Isn't it in like Prague or something like that? Correct me if I'm wrong. It's something in that region. Something like that.
Skewer me, daddy.
Chasing down the guy like through bars and across rooftops and stuff. Cold War does have a really cool opening. A lot of the recent campaigns are going to be harder. Amsterdam, not Prague. Thank you. Amsterdam. A lot of the recent campaigns, I'm going to have a harder time thinking of the openings because I haven't played them more than once. Like Cold War and MW19 and stuff. Anything beyond that, I have not played more than one time. First mission is D-Day. I would say that, like, I think World War II's D-Day opening for me has always been hurt by the fact that Call of Duty 2 has a D-Day mission, and it's way better than World War II's is. Like, World War II just did not handle D-Day as well as the series had handled it prior. So it doesn't really stick with me that much. But I could see that, like, if you haven't played COD 2, it would definitely stand out more. Trying to think. Advanced Warfare has a good opening mission. What was Infinite Warfare's opening? Infinite Warfare was on that, like, frozen planet where you, like, drop in out of your ship, like, literally onto the surface of frozen water, and that's, like, as far as the eye can see. That was Infinite Warfare. That one was really hard for me to remember. For a second, I was like, isn't it... Like, Infinite Warfare opens with the attack on the city, and then that, like, starts the war, but it doesn't. It starts on that, like, crazy, icy planet with Jon Snow coming in. That's a pretty good one. I wouldn't say one of the best, but that's a pretty good one. How far along are we? We're cooking. We're working on the 50 achievements for everything right now. MW2 2022. You're playing Ghost and you've got to bomb some guy. I can't even remember the opening mission to MW2 2022. Like, you say that and I don't even remember it. Legitimately. I cannot remember this mission, even with you describing it to me. So, probably not a contender. Probably not. God, that's brutal. That, like, you're literally telling it to me and I can't even picture it. And it's not even that old. Like, MW2 2022 was like 3 years ago now. A little over 3 years ago. But I can't even remember it. Kill a general in the Middle East. Still not remembering. I streamed it on launch day, so I could probably go pull up my own VOD of it, but I do not remember this mission. So I'm gonna say it's not in the running. I'm gonna say COD 4.
Have radar lock on.
COD 4 or Modern Warfare 3 probably take it for me. And I would honestly still put BO1 up there. Because at first I was like, oh, but Vorkuta immediately follows it and is way more memorable. But still, like, now that I've kind of thought through all of them, like, BO1 probably still is a top tier introduction.
Target hit.
I just noticed a Raspberry Pi folder called PP Backup. What is on there? What is PP on your Raspberry Pi?
Missile strike confirmed.
How do you have such a shitty intro? That's really the question. Like, it's crazy to me that I can't even picture it.
Enemy aircraft down.
Caused Castro to throw a fit? Yeah, it did. He was not happy. Even though it was a body double and he didn't actually die, and he didn't know that because all that he knew was that the media picked it up and was like, oh my god, you shoot Castro in this game. Even though, like, not 10 minutes later, they reveal that it was a fake Castro and that he's still alive, but it's beside the point. He didn't know that. No one told him that. Gotta be MW3. It might be MW3 for me as well, to be honest.
Target hit.
Like, I feel like just because of that opening shot and then like all the fighting in New York, I feel like that is the game that just hits the ground running the most. If that makes sense. Like, it just immediate is like, boom, crazy opening, like, you're hooked. It has your attention.
Missile struck target.
Immediately. Right? I feel like it has to go to MW3. Greatest first mission in games? That I have no idea. I could not. The RPD, Resident Evil 2. Totally. No bias. None at all. It's the RPD. Totally a mission. Totally counts. Yep. Yep.
Blocks 2. Missile struck target.
I hate to say Ace Combat don't hit hard on first missions. It's because Ace Combat has this very cute tradition from, like, literally air combat, where the first mission is always like 5 or 6 fighters and 5 or 6 bombers, and it's just straight air to air to like get you acclimated and everything in a
Struck target.
reasonable environment where it's not too much. Literally every Ace Combat game opens similar to that, at least. AC6 is the same thing, but just with more planes. And that's about as different as it gets, with that exception. And, like, it's neat in its own way, but it definitely... Like, you couldn't have a discussion like this with Ace Combat, really. Zero was the best version of it, though. I would argue... I was just about to say, I think if there is an Ace Combat game that, like, hits like that right at the start and grabs your attention, like, violently, similar to, like, how MW3 does, and this is going to be ironic. Assault Horizon.
Missile strike confirmed.
Assault Horizon does. Yep. The irony. But Assault Horizon has a mission like that, where like immediately you get this crazy dogfight over Miami with like blasting guitars. Your plane crashes at the end. Like, Assault Horizon does that formula, but in a very like over the top, memorable Call of Duty fashion from around that time. And like, yeah, if you were gonna have that sort of discussion with Ace Combat, it kind of does go to Assault Horizon almost by default. Like, if you've played Assault Horizon, that first mission does hit you and you're like, oh my god, this is sick. Like, even as an Ace Combat fan, for me, I had played every game and enjoyed almost every single one of them. Aside from Ace Combat, or sorry, aside from AC7 and what was it? AC3D, I still had not played. The 3DS one, the remake of 2. I played all the Ace Combat games when I got to Assault Horizon because it's that late in the release order. And even like that first mission, for me, it was doing it. I was like, this is pretty sweet. This is just cool. It just works. It just works. At least it just worked for me, personally. I can't speak for everyone, but it was cool as fuck.
I just want to stick my finger in there. This flap.
His flap. All right, hold on, chat. I gotta take a piss break real quick while I wait for this next one. Hold on. Give me a second. I'll think about the Armored Core one. I'll be back in a second. Feel free to get up, get a drink, snack, bathroom break, whatever, while I'm up. And when we're back, we keep her going. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. I'm ready. There's my OBS. There we go. Okay. Armored Core. Best first mission. I think Armored Core has a similar thing to Ace Combat, where a lot of the first missions in Armored Core are very simple intentionally because they know that their game is very unique. It doesn't really play like anything else. So new players need that sort of environment where they can just get to grips with it without anything too crazy going on. Whereas games like Call of Duty can go balls to the walls immediately because it is the most like basic, you've played it 1,000 times first-person shooter in terms of the single player. Which, to be fair, is partially, and I say partially, it's majorly due to the success of Call of Duty, ironically. But they can go crazy right from the jump in a way that a lot of games can't, is the point I'm trying to get to. Armored Core especially. So most of Armored Core's opening missions are kind of not even really in the running or really interesting to talk about, similar to Ace Combat's. But there are a couple. I feel like Armored Core For Answer starts with a pretty awesome first mission where it is still that more basic acclimation mission, but just the pace of that game and like the story setup and everything for it, it hits hard enough to stand out. And then I feel like the answer by default with Armored Core is 6. Like, you get crazy story stuff, you get the awesome scene of like you getting dropped into the planet from orbit. The gameplay is good. The story is good. You get a boss fight with a helicopter, a big ass helicopter at the end of it. I feel like Armored Core 6 takes it by default on that one. Because like the other Armored Core missions, just none of them compare to that. Why do people like Ghost so much in MW2? He's literally the same character as Gaz. In fact, it's the same actor. I feel like Roach deserves way more love than him. There's a very simple reason in terms of at least why people like Ghost more than Roach. It is really dumb and really straightforward, but I would legitimately argue it's the reason. How many spoken lines does Roach have? Yeah. There's nothing for people to latch onto with Roach. He is like the definition of a silent protagonist who doesn't really have a character outside of some very basic like background lore. He doesn't speak, he's not given a personality at any point. He's just the player. So he doesn't get any moments to actually come into a character of his own. It's like no one talked about or were like, oh my god, I love Soap until Modern Warfare 2. Even though you play as him for most of the game in MW or in COD 4. Because there was no character in COD 4. MW2, once you got to see him from the outside perspective, he became a character, right? And also with Ghost, it's another really stupid reason, but it's actually the reason. It's the mask. Legitimately, it's just that people thought his mask was fucking cool. And that he had like that cool, mysterious vibe going on. I don't think he's the same character as Gaz at all from COD 4. He was edgy, mysterious, barely spoke, but when he spoke, he said something cool and edgy as fuck. Like whenever he did open his mouth, it was to make like some cheeky one-liner about how he was about to put like electrified clamps onto this guy that he's gonna torture for info. The only times he spoke, it was him saying some crazy shit like that, right? So he became beloved literally just for the edge factor in a game that blew up and became so popular mostly due to its success among like teenagers to young adults and particularly men. And also, I think legitimately it's why original Ghost is so beloved and the new Ghost not so much. The new Ghost has a mask that is not as cool. He talks way more and he's not as edgy or mysterious. Partially because he talks so much more. Like he doesn't stand out in the same ways that the original did. Plus the audience has grown up so much now. I think there's a lot of that very simple, stupid reasoning that genuinely goes into both why the original Ghost was so loved and why the new Ghost isn't really talked about much.
Enemy kill confirmed.
Ramirez is better than Roach, fight me. Ramirez is beloved because Burger Town. Looks so fucking goofy. It's so dumb. The new Ghost mask is so dumb. Genuinely. Compared to the old, like the old one, you can see someone like him wearing that, realistically. The new one, you really can't, to be honest. Like, you just, if you even try to look at it and be like, would a special operative like him wear this? No. No, he would not. Like, let's be... He wouldn't. What? No. The new mask is silly. Silly, silly. Smiled when I saw the old mask come out. Yeah, that was a good one. Because the new mask is so dumb. Hold on. I can afford to do this because James is AFK. Let me get a picture of both ghosts for those who are like, what are they talking about? Old mask, new mask. Let me show you, okay? Let me show you what we're talking about. Old ghost. Oh my god, that is a low resolution image, but it'll work. Oh, shit. I'm organizing it before I show it. The side by side. I can explain at least a little bit though. Old Ghost had this mask that had a skull painted onto it. New Ghosts has a similar mask with a literal skull like stitched onto it. Not painted on, like legit. Oh, here, I'm in the way. Old Ghost, new Ghost. Old Ghost also wore shades all the time. He never didn't have the shades, which is a valid thing to actually bring up. He had shades as well to cover his eyes. New Ghost does not. And he had the jacket with the little UK flag, British flag patch, you know. Old Ghost had the drip. The new Ghost looks a bit silly. The one women thirst for is the one on the right. Women need to learn some taste in men, okay? This man, attractive, desirable, cool. This man, fucking goober. Goofy goober. Has that weird shroud on his head too. It's just weird. The difference for me is night and day. You're a goober. Which one of these do you think is a better character design, False? I'll pass this to you. Beyond the women thirsting thing, just which one do you think is a better character design? It is simply my question. As a woman who is not letting the thirst come into it.
Stage complete. All aircraft return to base.
Also, new Ghost has eyeshadow, like why he does. You can't see it in the screenshot that I've chosen here, but in certain shots in the new MW2, around his eyes, under the mask, does have like pure, thick, black eyeshadow on to cover his skin color. Which is beyond silly when you catch those shots of it and you're just like, he's trying too hard. You know, he is. He's trying too hard. There's a simplicity factor to the old one that does just work. In my opinion. I think especially for a character that is literally built on being like edgy and mysterious and cool, I prefer Right. I hate it here. I think for that kind of character, the lower effort look goes further. All the cosplays I've seen are of that one too. To be fair, it's because it's newer, yeah, but I could see that. New Ghost could have gotten a better mask. He could have. He should have gotten a better mask, to be clear. Never knew he died. Hey. Shh. My stomach is growling. I guess I didn't eat that much this morning. Oh my god, it's loud. I heard it through my headphones. Still got like 30-ish hours to go, give or take. Jesus Christ.
Alpha 1, engage the enemy.
New Ghost could have used a real human skull. Yeah, we don't know exactly what skull it is, to be fair. But it's kind of assumed that it is a human skull.
Lock on.
New COD, no one can stay dead.
Watch out, the enemy
Bro,
has a lock on you.
when they brought back the antagonist from MW2 2022 from the dead in the new Modern Warfare 3, that was when we got into like full silly territory. That I was so done already by then, and then that happened and I was completely done. Graves, thank you. Yeah, when he came back, I was just like, bro, what are we doing? Like, actually. What are we doing? What do you think of them making Ghost a captain and demoting Soap to sergeant? You want to know what I think in general about new Soap?
Fired.
And I know that this is going to sound crazy. He has no reason to be there.
Watch out, the enemy has a lock on you.
Legitimately, there is not a single reason that Soap is in the new Modern Warfare trilogy aside from nostalgia.
Crashed.
There's not. They have no purpose for him being there. Especially because the purpose that Soap filled in the original trilogy as like Price's apprentice
Careful now.
got handed off to Gaz in the new trilogy, where they changed Gaz from being like his right-hand man in the first game who never really came back because Soap kind of worked his way up after being the rookie in the first game. They made Gaz the rookie in the first game, and Soap just wasn't even there in the first game to swap the role or anything. So he, like, legitimately, there's zero reason he's even there. I don't give a shit about the new Soap because I don't know why they even bothered.
The enemy has a lock on you.
Gaz doesn't really come back. That's what I'm saying. Gaz doesn't come back because Soap kind of takes on his role after being the rookie in the first game. But in the new trilogy, Gaz is the rookie. Oh my god, Gaz. I'm double checking because I can't believe that I forgot this. Yes, Gaz does get killed. That's why he doesn't come back. Point still stands. The role was filled because Soap had a progression in the original trilogy. Worked his way up to take on that same sort of role. And then you saw him from the perspective of a different rookie, like after the fact. In the new trilogy, he just appears in the second game, out of nowhere. They don't really talk about it. He's just there, which is how Ghost was in the original trilogy, and still is in the new trilogy. But for Ghost's character, it makes sense.
Missile evaded. Fired.
Right? Like, he's the mysterious, edgy guy, and he just kind of shows up out of nowhere and is there. And you're just kind of like, okay, who the fuck is this guy? But it works, because that's kind of his thing. How long do you think you got on this? Realistically, 15 or so streams. Probably. Wait, hold on. Let me rethink that. 15, maybe not. 12, maybe.
We have radar lock on.
You think we need Yuri in the new one? I don't know. I didn't finish the new MW3. So I could not even try to discuss the viability or the role of a Yuri in the new trilogy. I'm probably going to have to play it before the new one, just so that I at least have an understanding of what the fuck is going on.
Enemy kill confirmed.
Because MW4 is this year. Man, I'm going to have to go back and actually play the MW3 campaign, like, fully. I never bothered to finish it. And it was so short, but I played it on, like, day one. I got, like, 2 hours into it, and I was just like, nah. Nah, I'm good, actually. "99 blades of grass." What is this in reference to? Oh, Rebirth. Do the 100%. Isn't Rebirth's 100% like shit though? Fuck you mean shit? I don't know. I've just heard people say that it's a really bad 100%. It's just word on the street about Rebirth. I've just heard it. Oh yeah, and this what's it? This guy Mortismal who's blown up in recent years on YouTube, a reviewer. His whole thing is like review after 100%. Like he no-lifes a game for 15, 16 hours a day consistently as soon as it comes out, and then reviews it after the 100% is done. He did a video of like the 5 100%s I did this year that were a complete waste of my time, and Rebirth was one of them. And I don't really remember his reasoning because I haven't played the game, so I wasn't really listening that closely. But that's what False is mentioning. He said that it was a total waste of his time. And he does it for a job. What about sleeping, eating, hygiene? Hey, that's what the other 8 hours are for. 8 or 9 hours a day. That's what those are for. But yeah, I've just heard from a bunch of people that it's a bad 100%. I don't know the specifics. I've just heard. But it's true that I've kind of heard that about every Final Fantasy game. Like, I've never heard people say that any Final Fantasy game has a good 100%. I've just legitimately never heard someone say that about those games. Most JRPGs are pointless to 100. I could see that. Yakuza is good, but that's like a border. It's like a sort of JRPG. Where like it is made in Japan. And it has some elements of classic ARPG design, but like you show Yakuza to a JRPG fan, granted one that's not 7 or 8, and they're not gonna recognize it as a JRPG.
Missile was evaded.
Spent 72 streams playing shogi. I only spent like 4 streams playing shogi, excuse you. And that was because I was learning from scratch. Now, the other Yakuza 2 stuff. And also, Yakuza 2's minigames, I would not wish on my worst enemy. That was awful. But now that we're done with the minigames, bro, it's great. Yakuza 2 is a blast. I love it.
Missile evaded.
But goddamn, the minigame requirements in that game are absurd. I don't know who came up with those. They never are anywhere near that bad again in the rest of the series. Yakuza 2 was the first game to add completion criteria for the minigames, and you can kind of tell, because holy fuck. Yakuza 100s are pretty fun at times. I think they're pretty fun most of the time, so far. Yakuza 2 minigames being the one major exception.
Alpha 1, engage the enemy.
I can't wait to get to Kenzan. Kenzan is so good. And Kenzan has like all of the core progression stuff integrated into the side activities, which I love. Like Kenzan has it to where like if you complete this little challenge in one of the mini games, like you get a heat gauge extension. Like Kenzan goes about progression that way, as opposed to like you get XP and you have a skill tree and the skill tree gives you the upgrades. Like it's all, you go out into the world, you do something outside of the main story, you get an upgrade pretty much every time you do anything in the open world. And it's awesome. I don't know why they didn't stick with that for the series as a whole, because it's so good when it's that way. Like it is legit mind-boggling to me that they didn't just keep that going forward. Did Krobcat really make another RE4 remake video? Did he? I would believe it. Hold on now. I don't quite have time for another match. Krobcat. He did. He made a second RE4 remake video. Oh my god. Who's Krobcat? I don't even want to get into it. I used to like Krobcat. You really, like... I'm missing lore here. He does videos where like his whole thing is that he takes games and like shows them next to each other to illustrate a point without any actual commentary or writing or anything. But a few years ago, like the first one that I remember was like bad was his Back for Blood video, where he showcased like, oh, Back for Blood, and the title, I'm looking at it right now, is Back for Blood proves that Valve carried Left 4 Dead. Because obviously it's the same developer, but not published by Valve, right? And the whole video, it's like 26 minutes long. And it's not literally all this, but it's all things like this. of like, he shows that in Left 4 Dead, they had this gore system where like, depending on where you shot the zombie, like 50 different things could happen. But in Back 4 Blood, depending on where you shoot the zombie, only like 5 different things can happen. And basically the whole video is him being like, Back 4 Blood is a bad game because it doesn't have these tiny details that Left 4 Dead 2 did. It's a comparison channel? Yes, but no commentary. He just shows footage. And that's it. And it's a cool concept, but he has become like Old Man Yells at Cloud, where like all of his recent videos are Left 4 Dead better than Back 4 Blood. I'm looking at them right now, right? Resident Evil 4 better than RE4 Remake. And in the title, he says for RE4, Soul versus Soulless. Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, Demake Till You Drop, Call of Duty in quotes, and Call of Duty. He has a random Jeff video that I have not seen called The Man with No Award. And then he has another Game Awards video right after it that I have also not seen. That is like 30 minutes long. He has one on the Oblivion remaster called Oblivion's Sincerity of Expression, The Meaning of Soul. Crowcat RE4. Yeah, the RE4 video was when people were starting to be like, okay, what is this guy's deal? His best video is the Jeff Keighley one. I should maybe watch it then. And he is now apparently, I mean, I'm looking at it 2 hours ago. He uploaded another RE4 remake video that is 45 minutes long to follow up his original 40-minute RE4 versus RE4 video. I don't know. I used to really like his stuff, but it did get to a point where it's literally just become a whole channel of him being like, old game good, new game bad. And like that has become the channel. Yeah, it's become miserable. That's like the word. It's literally just the whole channel is him being like, new games suck. And it's not enjoyable to watch. You seen RE4 Remake Laser? No, he fucking hates it. He has made 2 videos now about how it is a soulless product of the time nothing burger. Percentage? Sorry, 39.4 officially at the end of stream. It is about that time though, and I'm fucking hungry. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy and you haven't done so already, feel free to go ahead and leave a sub, follow, whatever, come back another time. We're doing this. We're doing all sorts of other stuff like Metal Gear, Yakuza, Resident Evil. I might have a couple fun things planned for the near future. Maybe, possibly, who knows? Maybe you'll have to stay tuned and see. You never know. Also, if you enjoyed, leave a like on the YouTube side. It helps out with algorithm and stuff, so I appreciate it. Thank you if you've done so already. Thank you if you're about to do so. If you're looking for links to anything else outside of Twitch or YouTube to engage with the community, check out links in the description below. Things like Twitter, Discord server, whatever. Those are all down there. If you're on Twitch, they're on the channel page. They're in chat commands. You'll be able to find whatever you're looking for. Other than that, though, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope to see you always back here next time. I hope y'all have a good rest of your day. Thank you for coming to the stream, and goodbye.